And first up, news coming in from UP's Mahoba district, where a woman was vicious assaulted by her husband and in-laws. Some of the brutality, in fact, was caught on camera on how viciously she was attacked by her own family members, allegedly because they blamed her for giving birth to 2 daughters and not a son. The woman, we believe, is in the hospital. Let's listen into what the police had to say.
इस संबंध में मुझे जानकारी प्राप्त हुई थी और महिला की तरफ से कुछ लोगों ने एप्लीकेशन भी इस संबंध में दी है, जिसमें जांच हेतु थाना कोतवाली को प्रेषित किया गया है। इस संबंध में प्राइमा फेसाई ये जानकारी मिली है कि महिला का विवाद कतिपय अन्य लोगों से था, जिसमें मारपीट भी की गई है और महिला जो है अपने ससुराली जनों पे इसमें आरोप लगा रही है कि ससुराली जनों द्वारा उसके साथ जो है मारपीट की गई है और वो भी हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट है। इस संबंध में तत्काल मुकदमा पंजीकृत कराने के लिए प्रभारी निरीक्षक कोतवाली को निर्देशित किया गया है और फिर प्राप्त साक्ष्यों के आधार पर अग्रिम कार्रवाई की जाएगी। महिला भी एडमिट है, उसका मेडिकल करा के उसको आगे की कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
All right, Alok Pandey joining us on the phone line to get us more on the story. So Alok, we're looking at a case in this day and age coming in from UP where a woman has been attacked by her own family members just because she couldn't bear sons.
Well, yes, exactly. It's very shocking, and even the visuals of that assault, some of which, like you said, was caught on camera. It's very difficult to watch it. The woman is in hospital. She has serious injuries. When reporters asked her there about why she was assaulted like this, then she said that, my husband and my in-laws used to blame me for not bearing a son. And they used to tell me, how can you have 2 daughters and why do you continue to bear daughters, etc. And local reporters also told me that, after her second daughter was born, the in-laws stopped giving her food on time. They stopped, they started misbehaving with her. So she started to work, she started to work as a laborer because she had to make ends meet and at least get enough food for herself and her daughters. And that's also something that appears to have provoked this assault. And the police have filed an FIR, like the SP was saying. But it's surprising that despite the video evidence that is available, nobody has been arrested yet. The woman continues to remain in hospital. Doctors say they are monitoring her. And she's very weak, and the assault has caused her grave injuries also. So one hopes that more action will be taken, and it's, like you said, so depressing and so horrifying to even think about that in this day and age. Things like these can happen, but perhaps it's up to the police to investigate and make an example out of those who have assaulted her.
Absolutely. Alok Pandey there. Thanks for getting us those inputs there on that story where a woman was brutally assaulted by her own family members just because she gave birth to 2 daughters. Of course, action is going to be taken. That's the promise by the police. No arrests, though, have been made so far in the case. Moving on to the valley, and this is yet another incident of targeted attack in Jammu and Kashmir that's been reported. 4 migrant laborers were injured in a grenade blast in Shopian district. And here's an account of what happened by one of the injured migrant worker. Listen in.
कल 8:30 बजे कुछ ब्लास्ट हुआ, जबरदस्त ब्लास्ट हुआ, जिसमें मेरा यहाँ चोट लगा, सिर में लगा, यहाँ लगा थोड़ा, और उसके बाद हम लोग पूरा खून से लाल हो गया था पूरा हाथ। सरकार से क्या रिक्वेस्ट है कि हम लोग अब नहीं रहेंगे, घर जाएंगे या फिर दूसरा साइड में जाएंगे, कश्मीर में नहीं रहेंगे।
And Nazir Masoodi has been tracking the developments in the valley for us. Nazir, so it appears that the focus is now shifting to outsiders, to migrant workers, to migrant people, because up until now we were seeing how targeted killings, were centered around Kashmiri Pandits. But in the past few days, we are seeing that migrants too are being attacked now.
Well, it was always, most of the incidents involve these migrant workers and people from outside the valley. One Kashmiri Pandit was killed on the 12th of last month. That actually caused a huge panic among Kashmiri Pandit community. But then there were people, one woman teacher from Jammu, a Dogra, a scheduled caste. She was targeted, and a bank manager from Rajasthan was targeted inside the bank. But later on, which is Thursday evening, a migrant worker was killed in Badgam, Chadura area, another was injured. And yesterday evening, there was a grenade attack on a laborers. Imagine, even laborers who come here only to earn their living are not spared. That shows the kind of what you call desperation or whatever the motive behind these attacks is. The fact it has reached to this point where innocent people who only come earn their living, they normally get better wages here. That's why they come here. And lakhs of these workers come from different parts of the country to work in the valley, and they contribute immensely in development, be it agriculture, horticulture, construction works here in the valley. And yesterday they were targeted again. It was the second target in 24 hours against migrant workers. And now you heard one of the injured saying, "No point of staying here. Let's go somewhere else and work there."
Absolutely. Nazir Masoodi, thanks for getting us that update there. Meanwhile, an anti-terrorist operation is underway at Reshipura area of Anantnag in the valley. The operation was jointly launched by police and army at Reshipura village after they received specific information about the presence of terrorists in the village. Now, the initial exchange of fire, 3 army personnel and a civilian were injured. Although there is no information or confirmation if terrorists are still cordoned or they've managed to escape. This is the second anti-terrorist operation where army men were targeted in the last 2 days. On Thursday, 3 army soldiers were injured during an explosion when they were on way to launch an anti-terrorist operation in Shopian district. And this is news coming in from the national capital where a man was beaten to death in Delhi's Adarsh Nagar. This incident was captured on CCTV camera. The horrific video, we are told, shows how the man was repeatedly beaten with stones until he died. And those visuals are being played out for you on your television screens on how he's being beaten brutally. In this case, the accused Rahul Kali has been arrested by registering a case of murder. Mukesh, getting us more details here. Yes, Mukesh.
देखिए, मामला उत्तरी पश्चिमी दिल्ली के आदर्श नगर का है। जब 3 जून को दिल्ली पुलिस में कॉल मिली कि आदर्श नगर में एक शख्स को ब्लेड मारे गए हैं। पुलिस मौके पर पहुंची तो पाया कि जो घायल शख्स है उसको बाबू जगजीवन राम अस्पताल ले जाया गया है। और जब वहां पुलिस मौके पर पहुंची तो जो घायल शख्स था उसकी मौत हो चुकी थी। उसकी पहचान नरेंद्र और बंटी के तौर पर हुई। नरेंद्र और बंटी इलाके का एक नॉन क्रिमिनल था जिसको मारा गया था। पुलिस ने इस केस की जांच की तो पाया कि नरेंद्र जो है इसी इलाके के एक दूसरे क्रिमिनल से ड्रग्स के लिए पैसे मांग रहा था और इसी बात को लेकर नरेंद्र और राहुल काली नाम के दोनों ही क्रिमिनल्स में झगड़ा हो गया, जिसके बाद राहुल काली ने अपने भाई रोहित के साथ मिलकर नरेंद्र को बुरी तरह पीटा, जिसमें आप देखेंगे वीडियो में किस तरह से बुरी तरह पीटा जा रहा है। उसका गला काटा गया, उसको गला दबाया गया, फिर बड़े बड़े पत्थरों से उसको तब तक मारा गया जब तक इन दोनों ने इस बात की तसल्ली नहीं कर ली कि नरेंद्र की मौत हो चुकी है। जब इनको ये लग गया कि नरेंद्र की मौत हो चुकी है, उसके बाद ये वहां से गए, लेकिन ये पूरी घटना सीसीटीवी कैमरे में कैद हो गई है, जिसमें साफ तौर पर देखा जा रहा है कि किस तरह से राहुल काली और उसका भाई रोहित काली नरेंद्र को बुरी तरह मार रहे हैं। और आसपास गली के आसपास बहुत सारे लोग खड़े हैं, लेकिन कोई भी उसको बचाने नहीं आया और फाइनली उसको इतना पीटा गया कि उसकी वहां पर मौत हो गई। तो पुलिस ने इस मामले में जो राहुल काली नाम का बदमाश है उसे गिरफ्तार कर लिया है, जबकि उसके भाई रोहित काली की तलाश की जा रही है। उसका अब तक कोई पता नहीं चला है, लेकिन ये वीडियो वायरल होने के बाद हर कोई हैरान है कि दिल्ली में कितनी बेरहमी से और कितने दर्दनाक तरीके से एक शख्स को इतना पीटा गया कि उसकी मौत हो गई।
Absolutely. This chain of events unfolding in the national capital in broad daylight, in a public area, a man stoned to death. Absolutely shocking. Mukesh, thanks for getting in those inputs. Over to Hyderabad now, where one person has been arrested in the gang rape of a 17-year-old girl inside a car last week. Out of the 5 people identified, 3 are minors. The crime in the heart of Telangana capital, allegedly involving children and grandchildren of politicians driving luxury cars, has triggered protests. The police said that the Home Minister's grandson, though, is not involved in this case.
We have arrested one of the accused. His name is Saduddin Malik, 18 years. He is a major. Prima facie, we have evidence against 3 juveniles and 1 more major. His name is Umair Khan. He is also 18 years old. Other 3 are juveniles. We cannot reveal their name. As per the statement of the victim, as per the CDR analysis, as per the CCTV footages, among these 5 members, he was not there.
These visuals show no sign of the horror lying ahead. A young girl hugging a girlfriend to say goodbye early evening and then leaving the pub with a young teenage boy she had met at the pub, giving her a lift home. The youngsters had been to an early evening party in a pub in Hyderabad's well-known Jubilee Hills. The nightmare unfolded as they left. They were joined with 5 other boys. They first went to a pastry shop, after which the car was parked in the upmarket Jubilee Hills area, where the boys took turns to rape the 17-year-old while the others stood guard. All of them belonged to locally influential families, including an MLA's son. The MLA's son got out of the car before the crime, say police. What then turned these teenage boys into monsters? And were they drunk? Police are investigating, and the pub manager says no alcohol was served inside the pub to them in the day.
कुछ भी नहीं हो पाता अंदर, क्योंकि सिक्योरिटी रहता ना, वो लोग कुछ भी नहीं कर पाते. अगर बाहर तक हमारा गेट तक सिक्योरिटी रहेगा. ये जो हुआ अभी इंसिडेंट, वो लोग कार में बिठाने के बाद ही हुआ था. See, we have checked our alcohol who is entering into the premises. We have tested our alcohol this thing, and later on cigarettes also we did not allow any single cigarette into that party, sir. Sir, this has been booked by a person called as Ishan, and he has guaranteed as 150 people. Later on 30 people are added.
One of these accused happens to be an MLA son of MIM party, and another seems to be a very important leader of TRS party, the name till now unknown, and his son, and a Waqf board chairman's son.
Shocking that such an incident should take place in an upmarket area of Hyderabad that is usually spoken of as safe for women. That too during the evening hours between 5:30 and 7:30. The police say the accused do belong to politically influential families and are minors, but action will be taken according to law. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
All right, with that, it's time for us to take a very quick break. We'll be right back with more.